Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Stuart Victor Echo 9 Charlie Foxtrot, and in honor of William Byron's win yesterday, Daytona 500, we're wearing our Daytona swag today. Yeah, I thought my guy Ryan Blaney was going to pull it off here at the end, but a wreck happened, and that's racing. Anyway, in today's video, I want to talk about I'm going to respond to a question I got on foreign hams operating in a foreign country. In this situation, we're talking about US amateurs visiting Canada and Canada amateurs visiting the United States. We're just going to keep it simple. Different rules apply. You need to really do a good analysis of the regulations. Just like in my video about going to Colombia and all the hoops you have to jump through. As a U.S. ham going to operate in Colombia, you just can't go there and start broadcasting your call sign or transmitting your call sign like, unfortunately, many of you think you can. There's rules and regulations in place that control or identify or give parameters to what you can and can't do when visiting a foreign country. Remember, as an American or as a Canadian, you just can't go to another country and assume you have the same rights that you do in your home country. So let's be very clear. An American coming into Canada, you have to abide by our rules, not with the rules from your country. Just like when we go to the United States, we have to abide by the rules of the United States or the state that we're visiting and not the rules from our home country. So the first part I want to address is call signs. So there is a lot of stuff you need to read. So I will attach a link to the reciprocal license agreement for 1952 that in the comments below, and feel free to download that and read it and thoroughly understand it. If you're planning to come up to Canada this year, or if you're a Canadian going down to the US, make sure you understand those rules and regulations. Just don't come up, go to a park and start broadcasting CQ or transmitting CQ. It just doesn't work that way. Anyway, if you're a Canadian going down to the United States, and let's say you're going to New Jersey, okay? You need to identify. So if I was going to New Jersey and I was going to do a Parks on the Air activation in the state of New Jersey, the proper way for me to identify would be Victor Echo 9 Charlie Foxtrot Portable Whiskey 2 or Mobile Whiskey 2 or / Whiskey 2. Not Whiskey 2 / Victor Echo 9 Charlie Foxtrot. Okay? It's your call sign / the call area that you're in. And I know the US call signs are all screwed up, but technically that's still part of the 2 call area in New Jersey. So it'll be Victor Echo 9 Charlie Foxtrot / Whiskey 2. Now, if I was going to Jersey in the United Kingdom, it would be a complete different story altogether. So that is under the CEPT agreement, and I have to apply for that through Radio Amateurs of Canada before I go and get all my necessary approvals before I go. But if I was going to Jersey, I would be Mike Juliet / Victor Echo 9 Charlie Foxtrot. So notice how that's reversed. The prefix of the country that I'm visiting, if it's France, it would be Foxtrot. If it's Germany, it would be Delta Echo or Delta Lima. I need to double check that one. But in Jersey, the country or the area in England, I would be Mike Juliet / Victor Echo 9 Charlie Foxtrot, not Victor Echo 9 Charlie Foxtrot / Mike Juliet. So my biggest piece of advice for you here in this video is to Google the rules of where you're going, because like New Zealand has different rules, Australia has different rules. So make sure you understand the rules before you get on the plane and go down there, because you may have to get approval ahead of time. Always do a thorough analysis of the regulations and the rules before you go. So the next part of the question was, okay, well, I'm a US extra and I'm not allowed to work phone below 14,150. So when I come to Canada, can I operate phone between 14,112 and 14,150? Well, the short answer to that is no, you cannot. Just like if I go down to the United States, and even though I can operate phone between 14,112 and 14,150 on the 20 meter band, US regulations on my equivalent license class says that I am not allowed to operate phone below 14,150, even though in my home country, I'm allowed to do so. So there's some other regulations and rules you need to understand. Your restrictions or guidelines or regulations around your particular license class follows you along. So if you're a general coming to Canada to do Parks on the Air, even though Canadian hams can operate phone between 14.112 and 14.350, you as a general cannot. Just like I can't go down to the United States and operate phone below 14,150, even though in my home country, I am permitted to do so. Another thing to keep in mind, if you're going to Europe, for example, as a Canadian going to Europe, even though or US going to Europe, even though we can operate sideband phone communications on the 40 meter band between 7,200 and 7,300 kilohertz, in Europe, in that ITU zone, they cannot operate above 7,200 at all, from what I understand. So when you go to Europe as a US amateur or a Canadian amateur, you are forbidden, you're restricted, you cannot, I can't make it clear, you cannot operate 40 meter phone above 7,200 because in that particular section of the world, it is restricted to operate ham radio above 7,200 on the band. So let's say you're a general amateur going to Europe. What does that leave you for the 40 meter band? Well, not a heck of a lot. You're restricted to, I believe, 7175 to 7200 on the 40 meter band. You cannot, let me repeat myself, you cannot go above 7,200 like you can in the United States or you can in Canada. You cannot. Now, if you're a US general coming to Canada and get on the 40 meter band, we as Canadians can operate phone between 7,200 and 7,300, so you're not restricted there. But if you go to Europe, you are. You see, you need to understand the rules. And I'll say this for what it's worth, just because your license or, I'm a Canadian, I should have the rights to go wherever I want and operate the way I like. Canadians kind of don't think that way, but our friends down south, a lot of them do. We hear it when they come up here to visit. Just because you're an American ham doesn't give you the right or the privilege to operate the way you would back in your home country. So I hope that doesn't confuse you. I hope that answers some questions. I hope that maybe spurs some more questions. Feel free to drop me a note to my email. You can find me on the QRZ page at Victor Echo 9 Charlie Foxtrot. Let me know what you think. I've covered a lot of material in this video. 7-3 for now, everyone. We'll see you guys in a future video. Victor Echo 9 Charlie Foxtrot. We're out of here.